apparently there was a video of behind the scenes that got leaked of the Panthers just refusing all of the Vikings offers to trade up on draft night.
Yes.
And to be honest, I think there is going to be. I think the NFL needs to do a better job of promoting these type of videos because I think this is ultimately it's that Hard Knocks type of feeling where it's like, oh, I'm getting to see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and especially when you have a team like the Vikings, because everyone who has played fantasy football has made terrible trade offers,
Oh yeah.
and just in hopes that maybe this person, likes this guy a lot or whatever. So everyone, who's in the fantasy football world, like,
Oh yeah.
can relate. And it's just interesting to see that actual NFL teams will still try to be like, all right, can we get this for as little as possible?
Yes.
And so it just it's pretty funny. And I think the NFL will do better to have more of this type of content out there.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. The At one point in that video, the owner of the Panthers is just basically like, "No, just tell them no. I mean, no. Tell them not to call us back unless they have any." You have this guy that's worth multiple billions of dollars. I think that the Carolina Panthers owner might actually be the richest owner in the NFL. I think I saw something like that. He's a guy actually, I
Okay.
believe, from Charleston, South Carolina. He's like a Wall Street type guy. So he's big down here in the Carolinas, and he's just
He
sitting in
might be
there.
a financial advisor.
What? Oh, what'd you say?
He might be a financial
He
advisor.
might be. He actually, yeah, he actually might be. He he's done
Unlike us.
he's done well for himself. But anyway, he's sitting there, and like you just see this billionaire being like, "Yeah, we don't have time. Like, what are they doing? Like, we don't have time for these offers are terrible. Like, tell them not to know. Like, we're not doing this." And it's just fantastic because at the end of the day, like for a guy like that that's worth whatever $7 billion, it's like he is playing fantasy football. I mean, to him,
Yeah.
like, what are
Yeah.
we really doing here? Like, he's running a business, obviously, but it's a business that's consistently made money for the last 100 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty much a guaranteed win for him, and he's just playing fantasy football at this point. And he did not like what the Minnesota Vikings were trying to do in that war room at all. And if you're a Vikings fan watching that video, in fairness, you've got to be kind of face palming a little bit because you're like, what are we do? Like, these are not real offers. Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't see how this is going to help us at all. Like, who's going to take this offer? So it's interesting to watch that, like, contrast of the two teams and how they're like approaching it. But man, I agree with you. Like, do you know how awesome it would be if you could just watch like a live stream of like Jerry Jones like at the
Oh,
draft, like pay-per-view? You get it after the fact, obviously. You couldn't watch it live, you'd see what was
yeah.
going on. But like if after the fact, they were able to do some hard knock shit and it was like you could just see him fielding offers and being like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, no,
Oh,
like it would be electric.
for sure. And really, why couldn't you? Every war room's outfitted with cameras and stuff already.
Yep.
You can see what's going on in there. Why wouldn't you bring in a camera guy and a mic guy, and then when after the draft's done, you just cut together like an hour or two thing that you can release on the NFL Network or whatever, and be like, yeah, the draft special.
Do you think
And yeah, people would buy the hell out of
do
that
you
to watch it.
do
They want to know what's going on behind the scenes.
Do you think that part of it is that the NFL just needs to lean a little more into the edgier side of the league? Like they have the HBO partnership, which is why Hard Knocks is so popular, I think, because it's
Yeah.
uncensored and they're able to show a little bit more of that stuff. Like I almost wonder if they would if they I guess my question is if they leaned more into their relationship with HBO and the ability to release some more of the edgy, uncensored type of content, like would that benefit them in this new media age? Because there are
I I'm
times where it seems
I
so Disney-fied. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can imagine watching that video of the war rooms, but it's like goofy ass music, and it's like this war room, the snacks are really good. Like you could see it like as like a Sports Center segment. Like their snacks are, and they're talking about like Sean Payton's cool Jordans. Like it's like I don't think
yeah,
that's what people necessarily want.
for sure.
But I just wonder if they leaned into that, if that would help them in this modern media climate.
I mean, Well, here's the thing: is like you already have the HBO partnership, and you could also release something as like a special and then just rate it properly, like, oh, strong language,
Yep.
you just give it a like proper rating and let people know what's in there. Like, I don't think you're going to get a lot of like 8 9 year olds being like, let me watch this draft special that we got to pay $10 for, and their strong language and stuff like that. I mean, because then it's not easily accessible to little kids and stuff like that. You have to, have your parents get it for you so you could watch it, so they know, they'll see it. And I think if they did it that way, they could literally just release it themselves on a platform, and not even have to go the HBO route. But I do think they do need to lean a little more into it with the edginess. But I think that will be a slow process because I think they're afraid that they will lose a lot of fans by doing that. And based on the research we found, we know that's probably not the case.
Right.
But I'm sure they probably look into that a little more than we probably look into it, and take that into account. But yeah, I think the NFL would do, because I mean it is edgy,
Yeah.
like let's not pretend at the end of the day these guys aren't cussing each other out on the football
Right.
field
Right.
or in practice or in the locker room
Right.
or in the war room or watching film. Like, it's just the reality of football, and not saying that's right or
Right.
wrong, but like you do have guys that are cussing and stuff like that, and you're seeing it so much more with different media and stuff. Like, just language is just in there now with podcasts and whatnot. So like you're starting to. I don't see the NFL getting there because I think they're too big, so they can't move quick enough to get this year or next year. But I think in the next like 3 to 5 years, I think you see them potentially making that bigger push to not not necessarily be edgy, but like play a little bit into that side of
Yeah.
it. Because really, as the NFL, you have so many different target audiences. You really should be trying to create content for each one of them to give them the best experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure.
And so that's just something that I think the NFL probably could do with stuff like this. But hey, I'm here for it. The draft night was an interesting one. A lot of stuff happening.